The head of the Afghan Taliban has issued a special message on environmental protection. The militant leader has encouraged all Afghans to plant more trees. He said they could be fruit or non-fruit trees to help the beautification of the earth. The country has a severe problem with deforestation and illegal timber sales. Well, Bilal Sarway is in Kabul and joins us now. Thanks very much for coming on the programme. We usually think of the Taliban blowing things up, not gardening. What's this all about?
Well, I think that remains the same because the United Nations here have attributed most of the civilian casualties to the Taliban over the years. And I think this is an effort by the Taliban to paint a very positive image of the movement. The message is quite surprising, actually. It's in 4 languages, and the Taliban leader is quoted as saying that a greener Afghanistan means a healthier Afghanistan, a much more peaceful Afghanistan. Now, most Afghans have already started the debate on Twitter and on Facebook. Well, how about roadside bombs that the Taliban are planting, which are resulting in majority of the civilian casualties and fatalities? And I think some people are even joking, saying maybe the Taliban need more cover to hide under those trees, as we are expecting much more violence in the fighting season. But on a very serious note, I think what is very clear that the Taliban have failed over the years to really honor their words when they say that they will be protecting civilians, when they say that they will not be blowing up bridges, when they say that they will not be targeting areas that are occupied or used by civilians. So I think the challenge for the Taliban leader is actions speak louder than words. What we also know in 2016 that the Taliban are in control of much more territory. They're in control of more villages and more population centers. So maybe they are trying to launch a campaign of winning hearts and minds in a very Taliban-style counterinsurgency operation, I would say.
And do you think they'll have any success winning hearts and minds? People have got bad memories of the Taliban, haven't they, from the last time they had control of parts of the country?
Well, I think one could ask few questions, few very objective questions. Number one, areas controlled by the Taliban are areas where poppy is cultivated and grown. Taliban protect those farms. Taliban tax drug dealers. Taliban tax the transportation of those, whether it's opium or heroin. Deforestation is a huge problem in areas that is controlled both by the government and not by the government. Because if you look at the southeastern provinces of Host and Paktia, they are known for their pine nuts, and more deforestation is taking place, at least on a positive note. Tribal elders have actually really enforced some tribal regulations under which some of those forests are safe. But in the eastern province of Kunar, the timber smuggling mafia, as it's known, is quite prevalent. We see deforestation. I think the sad and tragic part is that for the last 40 years or so, Afghanistan have not only lost its people, Afghanistan have lost its environment, Afghanistan has lost its forests, Afghanistan has lost its wildlife, and I think those are the things that will be really difficult for Afghanistan to build if and when there is peace for the future generations of this country.
Bilal, thank you very much for joining us.